The 8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second.
Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask a question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise evil eyes that burn a hole in my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take all back. Rise up, take it all back. Rise up. Hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again.
These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
What is up, everybody? How y'all doing? Give me 1 second. I am checking out these links that Texas Antique is sharing, YouTube videos. Some of them are interesting. Mike Lindell. I don't know. Can you guys hear me? Is my audio on? Yeah, it is. Okay. My microphone is just really low. That's why. Also, I'm going to be a little bit quieter because I got some really bad tooth pain going on right now. So, hype. What's up, everybody? You tactical motherfuckers. Who's all in here? A lot of F Trumps tonight. Hello, I'm not much going on in the world yet, so most news is all rehash until things blow up. I got a few new things. But we can just rehash stuff. User Texas Antique, by the way, hello, Armed Archangel, sent me a Mike Lindell Clinton Military Tribunal 3/6/21, day 6 full, latest Thursday update. This is interesting. It's a 11-minute video. I will watch it. I'm curious about it because, first of all, there's a Clinton military tribunal. If so, okay. But it's one of those things that I'm like, is it okay? But the biggest thing on it is the channel has got 348,000 subs. That's a decent amount. That's a lot in my opinion. 348,000 subs. But it's a channel called Kaluna Rice ASMR. ASMR is where you make sounds in your microphone. Hold on. Oh, crap. Man, I thought I had everything set up, too. I did not. Sorry about that. ASMR, right here. Well, actually, you can't see my mouse. But the name of the channel right here, Kaluna Rice ASMR. ASMR is where you make sounds in your microphone for your audience. They get off on the sounds of interesting things, right? You could be like, a piece of paper. Right? That's ASMR. Well, very, very brief explanation of ASMR. So it's interesting that channel has it. I'm going to look into that, though, for real. For real. All right. And then he sent me another one, Fauci's emails released. I do have a thing about Fauci's emails tonight that we're going to get into. What's up, Armor Archangel? How you doing? F Trump. Hey, everybody. Hello, everyone. Hello, F Trump, Hillary, Biden. Obama. Yeah. Fuck everybody who's in politics for a long period of time. I'll give Trump a little bit of a pass here and there because he wasn't, he's more of a showman than he is a freedom lover. Like, he went in there. He went in there and tapped into the freedom loving community, right? Not knowing what the freedom loving community was all about. That's why he goes in there and once again in the opening, the assault on your Second Amendment rights for the last 8 years has come to an end. He went in there playing on that, not understanding what the Second Amendment even means. He didn't bother to look it up or look what his own supporters gave a shit about it. He just knew they wanted to hear that, and that's exactly what he said. He's definitely a showman. Double fuck to all those damn Bushes. The Bushes need to go. Trump had his nose in it too. Yeah, he did. He had his own personal interest. I don't think they were the same interest as most politicians, obviously, because they wanted him out so damn bad. It's just my opinion. But I do think that he scared the fuck out of them, and that's why they're working so hard not to get him back in. And that's why if he does run again, I'll probably fucking vote for him. And I would encourage anybody to. Just because if nothing else, yeah, he's going to screw you over, but it makes them panic, and it's kind of fun to watch them squirm. What up, PS? My tooth hurts. It's tooth hurty. Broken Patriot. What's up, BP? How you doing? $100 meat? $100 meat? Is that what you're charging for that now? What's up, Irish? How you doing? Autonomous sensory Meriden response. I have no idea what you're talking about, Quantum. Number 6 on the like. Thank you so much for your likes. How much have you smoked today? I haven't smoked a damn thing. So, I haven't smoked any marijuana in a while. It's not cheap, and I don't grow it yet. And if you guys didn't know this, me and Riddle are going through some financial hardships. So the first thing we cut out was recreational marijuana. It's $400, I think. What was it, a month or every 2 weeks? I don't even remember, but it was a lot. It was a lot. So we cut that out. Or are you on pills? I'm not on anything. I take that back. I did have a couple Vicodin that I had left over from last year's surgery. When I got my weight loss surgery, I never took my Vicodin because I was a man and I didn't need it. Well, I tell you what, that man can't handle a tooth pain. So I have taken 1 or 2 of my old ass Vicodin. ASMR, fullest assumptions. 5 grams C4 here. All right, so Yesterday, I announced to you guys that we were trying to get a little package together for a veteran who's going through some shit right now. And once again, any donations, you can check the links down below if you want to make a donation. Any donations to this channel for until Friday are going for that. I also announced that on my Twitch. So last night we had a great night. It was a rock and roll night. We did Batman karaoke, and we had a great time. Quantum Lotus was there, and we also did the same thing there. We were able to raise $17.60. We're trying to get like $100. So anything over that obviously is going to be even extra. But for the rest of this week, all donations made to this channel are going for that. Cool. And Twitch is beating y'all. Twitch got $17.60. And I'm sure we're going to raise some even more tonight, because tonight I think we're either doing pop or rap. I think it might be pop. But we're going to be doing some karaoke, and I'm going to be making a fool of myself with a hurt tooth, trying to sing pop songs like WAP, probably, or something. I don't know. Basically it's $1 for a request. You give me $1 for my cause, and I sing whatever pop song you want. Last night it was rock songs, and I blew out my voice on that, and probably why my tooth hurts a little bit too, because I'd actually like heard it by eating popcorn a few days ago, but last night kind of flared up. 17. Haven't smoked any pot in like 2 minutes. Oh, Gerald B, are you all right? Do you need a minute? Do you need to go smoke? I don't have any teeth, so hard to remember tooth. Oh, dude. That's the thing. I absolutely hate dentists, and that's why I still have them. But the whole upper row needs to go, and the one that hurts actually is down on the bottom row. So there's at least a couple on the bottom row that need to go as well. But I want to get those implant ones that cost like $30,000. But here's the thing, as somebody who streams on YouTube and I have a gaming channel, the last thing I want to have happen when streaming is my teeth coming out. Like, I'm already self-conscious about being kind of an elderly streamer as far as streaming goes. Last thing I need is my teeth falling out. I think I heard Amazon is going to stop testing for drugs or marijuana. Nice. That'd be cool. It was the bamboozle beans. It might have been. So just so you know, Riddle Girl is, we found out there is synthetic urine that you can buy. I forget how much it was. I think it was like $40, but it's basically how you pass a drug test.
It was 40 with shipping.
40 with shipping. There you go. What's up, Mule? How you doing? Contributions cut into my stash sources. Still a credit card and trying to get out of it. No problem, Mr. TB9. Absolutely not. Riddle Girl showing off her fake urine. Thank you, Riddle. Put that away. It's a novelty. It says it right on the box. It's not intended for anything and nothing nefarious. All right, here we go.
No kink shaming.
No kink shaming. Oh my God, if that's a kink.
It said on their website.
Oh, is it? Mm-hmm. Platinum grills. Hell yeah. I'm off. I'm on Audifacy now. I don't know what that is, but that sounds amazing. Can you hook a brother up? All right, Mark Dice put out a video. I liked it. This is what we're titling tonight's episode. It is, well, it used to be Gay Pride Month, June, but no longer, I guess. At least according to Mark Dice. We're going to watch this video, though. And this way, I don't have to talk so much. It'd probably help if I turned on my desktop audio. I turned it, you know what, yeah, I got some things I gotta fix.
Well, it's June, so the annual onslaught of Marxist propaganda hit like a tsunami. It used to be called Gay Pride Month, but that wasn't inclusive enough because there are bisexuals and transgender people and pansexuals, whatever the hell that is, and they...
Okay, wait one damn second. Can we just take a minute here to appreciate the fucking hair? I need to take this individual's photo and take it to my barber and say, I want exactly that, but without all the color. maybe with the color, I don't know.
hell that is, and they all must be celebrated because they're incredible heroes. Any disagreement about this, and it's considered to be hate speech. The most ridiculous so far, and it's only 2 days into this disaster, so God knows what else is going to happen, is Kellogg's new
It does
LGBT
look like mine a little bit, yeah.
cereal, Together with Pride.
Always
I'm
looking
serious,
like
this
a
is
trans.
actually real. The limited edition LGBT cereal consists of what appear to be Fruit Loops in the shapes of hearts, and on the back of the box, instead of crossword puzzles or treasure maps, kids are taught about their preferred pronouns. He, her, she, him, they, them, and there's a few spots for the kids to come up with their own pronouns. Boxes are for cereal, not people, they say. No matter who you are, who you love, or what pronouns you use, you're too awesome to fit into a box.
So the Fruit Loops are little hearts. Check it out. Here's ours. I think this was from last year or the year before. These are our Skittles. Says only one rainbow matters during Pride, and so they're all white. So they give the rainbow. They took all the colors away, and then over here it's the Pride pack. Oh, too much light. But it's the Pride pack of white Skittles. I thought that was interesting. We bought a bag of that. That's been there for now a year. Collector's item, I suppose, because I think it's hilarious that they're all white and it's Pride.
All they wanted was the right to be married, they said, and now Tony the Tiger is teaching her third grader that maybe he's a girl and needs new pronouns. Lego has also released their first ever LGBTQ plus set for Pride Month this year because they too want to indoctrinate your children. Sesame Street has posted happy Pride messages on all of their social media accounts because, well, you know why.
Hi, my name's Ellen Pontiff. I'm actually going to be one of the drag queens reading for Drag Queen Storytime. So, apparently to a lot of people in this room, I'm the big boogeyman. But I'm here to let you know that this event is something that's going to be very beautiful. And for the children and the people that support it are going to realize that this is going to be the grooming of the next generation. This is going to be the grooming of the next generation.
Of course, many, if not most, Fortune 500.
That's where I had that. Now, I deal with a lot of people who are homosexual and some that are transgendered. I play a game with one transgendered. I do not like that person. And it's not because they're transgender. It's just because they're an asshole. And I have other friends who have, they're celebrating Pride because they have family that are gay. That's fine. It's great. I love it. Go ahead and celebrate yourself, for real. But I don't agree. I definitely don't agree with getting kids involved in this. Sesame Street? Kellogg's? Seriously? Do we really need to be doing this to our kids? And as this guy says, it is the grooming of the next generation. And that's exactly what it is.
The grooming of the next generation. This is going to be the grooming of the next generation.
Of course, many, if not most, Fortune 500 corporate social media accounts have changed their avatars to incorporate their company logo with rainbows. Well, that is for all of their accounts in Western countries. Most of these brands have separate social media accounts for each different country. And so the United States, the UK, Canada, all of those accounts have been changed. But what a surprise! The brand accounts in the Middle East have not. Look at this. Here's Mercedes in the USA, the UK, Canada. But Mercedes Middle East doesn't support the LGBT community.
Why not?
I wonder why.
Why not
BMW
BMG
did the same thing, except for, well, the Saudi Arabia BMW account. And that's because Muslims, unlike the vast majority of Christians, won't just sit idly by and allow their culture to be undermined or changed without actually saying or doing something about it. The 501c3 tax-exempt churches in the United States don't want to lose their tax-exempt status and upset the IRS by preaching the truth. They
tell you right there, makes you want to start up a church, don't it? At least it does for me. I mean, I don't know the first thing about it in the hell if I'm ever a preacher, but I can't help but think, wouldn't it be nice to have a church, once again, I know OMG's church has got balls, but I mean, it's a small one church thing. Wouldn't it be nice to have a church with some balls? Who is not going to sit up and take it? Who doesn't care about the tax exempt status? That's the thing, right? Once you sign up for that tax exempt status, you're owned. You're owned. Wouldn't it be nice to have a church that's not owned?
Take their 30 pieces of silver in the form of not having to pay income tax, and in exchange, the truth. They take their 30 pieces of silver in the form of not having to pay income tax, and in exchange, they don't get politically active because, well, that would be a violation of the IRS's 501c3 tax code. Oh, you didn't know that there are strings attached to virtually every church in America being tax exempt and being classified as a charity. You just thought that the government was not collecting what they should render unto Caesar just because they like what the church is doing? You know, if Jesus were to come back today, he would vomit on most of these churches for being cowardly sellouts. So now we have people like this who have access to children.
This is Ari, Gwendolyn, and Brinifer. They are in a polyamorous relationship, and they all parent Hazel and Sparrow.
We have a 2-year-old antigender baby and a 10-year-old who is non-binary.
How is there not a national outrage about this? How are these people not in prison? How is it that no Republicans have been speaking out against this kind of thing? Instead, Senator Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham traveled halfway around the world to a foreign country to promise them that we'll be giving them more of our tax money. This next clip I had to triple check to verify that it was actually real. When I first saw it, I hoped that it was just a parody. I prayed that the Marxists hadn't gotten this far, but this Blue's Clues clip, which is a cartoon aimed at children ages 3 to 5, is real.
It's time for a pride parade. Families marching 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. Families marching 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. This family has 2 daddies, they love each other so proudly, and they all go marching in the big parade. Come on, friends!
Yes, that is a drag queen designed to get your 5-year-old to sing along with them.
Polygamy is no longer illegal.
Quantum
Lotus. I don't think so. Or if it is, they're not gonna.
Unless
you're Mormon, they're not gonna go after
like
you.
A tsunami. And Disney Plus, Disney's streaming service, just rebooted a new show, or about to reboot a new show called The Proud Family, which, you guessed it, now has LGBT characters in there to teach your children about maybe changing their pronouns. The Rugrats, another cartoon for kids, also decided to make one of the characters gay because, well, you know why.
This is going to be the grooming of the next generation.
And now there are a growing number of plastic surgeons in the United States who are allowed to keep their medical licenses.
It is, Broken Patriot.
Who are performing what they call gender nullification surgery for people who identify as gender non-binary. Oh yes, it means what you think it means. Here's one of them, Davis Plastic Surgery. Dr. Davis is just a handful of North American surgeons who have been performing gender confirmation surgeries for more than 20 years. However, not all gender patients desire a complete transition. For his gender non-conforming patients, Dr. Davis also performs gender nullification, also known as male to eunuch or smoothie procedures. The procedure includes a
you know how we talk about castration? They're doing it to themselves. So how do you reproduce?
The goal
how do you
is
reproduce
to
when you
leave
do
the
that?
area as a smooth,
You adopt.
unbroken
You
transition
indoctrinate.
from the abdomen to the groin. Meanwhile, popular Science magazine declares people think beef is manly, and that's a big problem.
Love beef.
We can't lower our meat consumption without rethinking masculinity. Yes, if you like to grill out and eat hamburgers or steaks, or God forbid, work out at the gym to build your muscles up and eat animal protein to repair them, then they consider you to be part of the problem of society. It's not fun anymore. It was fun about 5 years ago when these were like isolated instances, but now they've become ingrained into the culture, and just daring to speak out against them puts you at risk of getting your social media accounts banned. It's so much worse than I can get into here on YouTube. I got to walk a fine line, and
I
they
think
probably
this
already
is pretty
consider
much
that
the end
I've
of the video.
caused it. So you really should get my books in
All beef
paperback at
matters.
Amazon.com by clicking the link.
100% beef matters.
Of course,
Yeah.
you can also support my channel while.
All right, there's the end of that. Let's catch up. Isn't that polygamy? Yes. I read years ago everything for sale in the U.S. was in response to O.J. Simpson. Shit is so wrong. They felt forced to be heterosexual, but now they have turned the tables and they are forcing us to accept radical homosexuality. Beef is for everybody. All beef matters. And Monsanto put a gay chem in product. What, in like vegetables or something? I don't know. I don't think it's that. I think it's literally, it's just my opinion, but it's the downfall of society. It's Western society's downfall. People want to be, these people were always here. There was I mean, look at, you got Rocky Horror. We did Sweet Transvestite last night on the stream. That was what, the 70s? They've always been there. It's just now that technology's getting there. People can get those surgeries that they want to if they have enough money, or they can get the surgery other ways. They're also now more accepted because of getting the gay rights of the 90s and 2000s, right? Which at the same time, I was not against, and I'm still not against it. If you want to be gay, no, that shouldn't be anybody's business, especially any church. The church shouldn't say yes or no to that. Should they have to marry you? I don't think they should have to marry you, but I don't think they should be able to come up to Congress and say that you shouldn't get married. You know what I mean? So I'm 100% for them getting married. That's fine, because if you love somebody, whether I agree with, your homosexuality or not, as an American, you're two adults doing an adult thing, and damn it, you should be able to see your spouse or whatever in the hospital, things like that. It's, even back then though, they were, saying it's a slippery slope. You can kind of see how it has become that, but it is the indoctrination. It's the way, I don't know, I'm speaking out of my ass right now, but it's the way that you reproduce. And the more you're not special, the more you want to be special, right? Well, it used to be that you were special if you got good grades or whatever. Then the homosexuality stuff came forward. People thought, oh, okay, I'll be special because I won't be normal. I'll be homosexual. Well, that's not enough now. You can't be special just being a homosexual. You got to be something else. You got to have something else. That's not enough, because homosexuality it's run of the mill. You got to be extra cool. Just my opinion. Just my opinion on that. But I remember my daughter going to school, and her friends, they're already talking about how they're non-binary, or they're bisexual, or they're pansexual, or all these different. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? I'm having to look this shit up. Why? Because it's not cool to be heterosexual. And that's going on in schools, and Christian schools at that. Anyway, sounds crazy, don't it? Yeah. DuPont came up with a formula. This is documented. Ooh. Okay. All right. Well, all I know is about the water that turns the frogs gay. I don't know much about Monsanto's. I know I watched a documentary about Monsanto's, but it didn't say that it was like turning people homosexual. You wouldn't happen to own an AK, would you? I don't know what you're talking about. Why don't you tell me why? Why don't you let me know about that one, Arm Archangel, before I answer that? You want to go down the whole rabbit hole? Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Quantum Lotus. Drop some knowledge on me. Hit me a link. Meanwhile, while you're getting your links together, an Armed Archangel is gonna respond to why I may or may not own an AK. I'm gonna move on to this one. FEC fines National Enquirer. What? The FEC fines National Enquirer for killing a story about Trump's affair with Playboy model. She's pretty hot. A federal election watchdog fined the publisher of the National Enquirer $187,500 for squelching the story of a former Playboy model who claimed she had an affair with President Trump. Well, who the hell is going after Jeffrey Epstein's story that got squashed a few times? The Federal Election Commission fined A360 Media, formerly known as American Media, for paying Karen McDougal $150,000 in August of 2016, saying the payment was made to keep her story from becoming public before a presidential election. The FEC said the publisher's payment to Karen McDougal to purchase a limited life story right combined with its decision to not publish the story in consultation with an agent of Donald Trump and for the purpose of influencing the election constituted a prohibited corporate in-kind contribution. Okay, that's kind of an interesting story then. So, supposedly, from what I'm gathering here, they got an exclusive story about the affair. By getting the exclusive, she was not allowed to say it to anybody else or go anywhere else. And they did the story, but they never published it, which basically squashed it. Campaign finance laws prohibit corporations from cooperating with a campaign to affect an election. Well, they did it in the last one. Maybe. I don't know. Probably not. The publisher didn't immediately return a message left via its website. An email statement from a representative for David Pecker. I want to just take a moment for his last name. I love it. Who stepped down as CEO of the publisher in 2020, said that Pecker was not a party to the settlement and had not paid a fine. Federal prosecutors in Manhattan agreed in 2018 not to prosecute American Media in exchange for its cooperation in a campaign finance investigation. That probe led to a 3-year prison term for Trump's former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, who had urged the publisher to obtain the rights to McDougal's story and promised to reimburse them for the payment. Cohen served about a year of his sentence before he was released to home confinement as the sniffles spread throughout prisons. Since then, he has spoken out frequently against Trump and tweeted on Wednesday that he was willing to cooperate with federal prosecutors and any other prosecutions of Trump or his associates. Well, you know what? I hope you get paid, Michael Cohen, because you being that willing to rat out a client, I don't see anybody ever want to hire Cohen to be his lawyer. Can you imagine anybody ever buying him for his services again when you are ratting out your client? The National Enquirer for years buried stories about Trump and some other celebrities with a catch and kill strategy of buying the rights to these stories and then not publishing them. I'm pretty sure the other side probably does this. Common Cause, a public interest group, which filed the complaint, like with the whole Hunter Biden laptop. I mean, come on. Although that story still got out. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass. Common Cause, a public interest group which filed the complaint with the FEC in 2018, said in a statement that there was a fine was a win for democracy, but said the agency's failure to hold former President Trump and his campaign accountable for this violation lays bare the dysfunction at the FEC. In 2018 complaint, it also asked the agency to investigate Trump and his campaign. In a letter to Common Cause Tuesday, the agency said that there was an insignificant number of votes to find reason to believe that the remaining respondents violated the Federal Elections Campaign Act. Common Cause also noted that the FEC's Republican commissioners had blocked enforcement against Trump for a payment to Stormy Daniels in a decision released last month. The FEC has 3 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and an independent commissioner. Common Cause said that the FEC has shown again itself incapable of fully enforcing the campaign finance laws passed by Congress. The National Enquirer and A360 Media are owned by a huge fund, Catham Asset Management. A Catham representative did not immediately reply to a request for comment. 2019 deal that would have sold the Enquirer to the former head of airport newsstand company Hudson News was not completed. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Give me a moment. I'll email you. All right. Thanks, Archangel. I will look for that later. Riddle Girl, remind me to look for that later.
Okay.
Thank you. Emails. Here we go. Here's the emails from Fauci. This is a big story, apparently. Check your email. We're going to go check the email. Make sure we got it. I can't do that. I got too many things open. Emails. Fauci smooths with CBS, ignored Trump administration amid the virus outbreak. The tranche of newly released emails from sniffle czar Anthony Fauci offered a telling contrast in his priorities during the early days of the sniffle pandemic. They revealed that Fauci entertained the possibility of a tag-along from a top CBS News correspondent while the National Institutes of Health scrambled to roll out a response for when the virus inevitably reached California. Yet days later, Fauci indicated that he was too busy to review public communications from a Trump advisor covering PPE shots, therapeutics, and diagnoses. After White House staffers requested the review of an op-ed by Peter Navarro, Trump's director of trade and manufacturing policy, Fauci finally replied more than 5 hours past the requested deadline. I do not have time for this. Sorry. The disconnect might explain why many in the media claimed was a slow response from the Trump administration in February 2020 when the White House sniffle shot task force had already been formed under the oversight of the Health Secretary Alex Azar and later Vice President Mike Pence. Trump downplayed public fears about the sniffles during much of this time while striving to reassure Americans that the top experts were already on the case. He would declare a national emergency mid-March shortly after the World Health Organization upgraded the sniffle status to a pandemic. Yet Fauci seemed more concerned in the weeks prior with what he was going to have for lunch and whom he would be dining with. On February 23rd, CBS News chief medical correspondent Jonathan LaPook requested to shadow Fauci for a day to give people an inside look how seriously the government is taking the outbreak. LaPook then sweetened the deal by offering noches from a well-known New York deli. And I could bring down a schmear from Barney's Green Grass for lunch, he wrote. How could you pass that up? Fauci replied, how about a pastrami sandwich on rye and a potato quiche? Throughout the Trump administration's pandemic response, Fauci continued to feud publicly with Navarro, who had forewarned the White House in January of 2020 that it should take the sniffle threat seriously and restrict Chinese travel. In his correspondence with LaPoke, Fauci seemed to reveal his own indecision and hesitation about crossing the WHO by prematurely referring to the outbreak as a pandemic. It will soon be a matter of semantics regarding who will be willing to call it, since it is not a mathematical precise definition, Fauci wrote. I'm not so sure that WHO will have the will to declare this a pandemic before a number of respected epidemiologists around the world start referring publicly to it as a pandemic, regardless of what WHO docs or does not declare, he continued. WHO will likely be behind the curve here and will wait until it's patently obvious of what we're dealing with. What's up, Riddle? That image? Oh, yeah, that's cool.
So you can let them know if you want it.
No, I'm good. I have a lot of stuff. I'd let you guys know. I think I offered to sell it straight out to Irish, and I believe it was Texas Antique. I have a whole bunch of pistol grips. I have a whole bunch of shovel brakes. I have a whole bunch of oil cans. And as a whole bunch, I mean like more than 20. I bought a long time ago. I bought years and years and years ago for a really good price, hoping that I could sell them, flip them and sell them. Unfortunately, I can't figure out how to sell them on eBay without getting flagged and them being removed. But I would definitely love to get rid of that box. So if anybody is interested in oil cans, like the little round oil cans for AK-47s, cleaning kits. I have cleaning kits. The ones that go in the little tube. I have the pistol grips. I have the plastic ones, and I have the Bakelite ones. And then I also have the shovel break. So I got enough of that to last me forever. Evidence subsequently revealed that the WHO was likely complicit in China's efforts to cover up its Wuhan outbreak and initially downplay the severity, costing valuable preparation time. But the emails also show that Fauci was more in the loop than he let on concerning some of the Trump administration's proposed treatment solutions. He notoriously second-guessed then President Trump during a press conference statement about the benefits of using hydroxychloroquine. Nailing it to this day on that. Let's give it up for Stinger for getting a word right finally. Can't say other ones, but that one I finally got. Although Fauci seemed taken back and insisted that I can't even say this, anisidol claims had yet to be conclusively studied. A month earlier, he had been looped into an email to Pence on February 29th in which a pair of Oklahoma physicians extensively discussed their research on it. Fauci also responded in a February 24th inquiry that noted that China had been reporting about its clinical studies with the drug. So he knew about hydroxychloroquine. Is there any indication, data to substantiate this claim from China-attached publication that hydroxychloroquine, can decrease sniffles, infections, and lung diseases, wrote Maryland pharmaceuticalist Philip Gotti. Fauci's passive reply echoed what he would later convey on the national stage. There are no data in this brief report, and so I have no way of evaluating their claim, he wrote dismissively. There are a lot of these types of claims going around, he continued. I would love to see their data. I would have loved to have seen a chance, the option of using it. Not only did they poo-poo it, but they made sure that you wouldn't be able to be prescribed it. You couldn't go to your doctor and say, I'd like to have that. You could before all this happened, right? It's a malaria drug. It's extremely cheap. It's already out there. If this actually worked, then there would have been no big deal. But they didn't want you to try it. Why not? Because they wanted you to get that shot. Why do they want you to get that shot so bad? I don't know, but they're giving you millions of dollars or opportunities at lotteries for millions of dollars. Biden just said he'd give you a beer, right? And all this time, hydroxychloroquine might have worked. It might have worked. I don't know. I'm not a medical person. Don't take medical advice from me. Many of the narratives surrounding the devastating pandemic have now begun to unravel after Fauci acknowledged in May's Senate hearing that he did not know whether China might have been conducting controversial gain-in-function research that led to the leak in Wuhan's Institute of Virology. Although Fauci denied that U.S. funding had been used in the research, he admitted that grantees, namely EO Health Alliance, which was supporting research at the Wuhan lab on transmission of the sniffles from bats to humans, might have misled him on its methods. I don't know. Frickin' Fauci. Not being pushy, your chat is delayed. Yeah, I know. No, you're good. I know my chat is delayed. It's restream. Well, it would be delayed no matter what. There's always a delay. Depending on how good my internet depends on and what you're watching me on. It has a lot of different variables, right? So if you're watching me on a computer and you have good internet, right now my delay is probably like 5 or 6 seconds. If you're on a cell phone, it's probably double that. If I have bad internet, it's going to be a lot more. And if we both have bad internet, it's going to be even worse. So it's just how this works. Luckily, we're not playing anything or doing anything that you need to be like immediately up to date on it. Eating a bowl of cereal before I go to bed in a few hours. All right, man. Make an oil can necklace for the next gun show. Somebody will buy them. Ooh. It would be more like a lei because they're big. Maybe. I could always take them, wheel them around all throughout the whole gun show, but the gaudy necklace. Biden taps failed border czar Kamala Harris to manage elections power grab also. Despite recent reports that the Biden administration's border crisis continues to see thousands of unaccompanied migrant minors in cages being denied basic human rights and dignity, designated by immigration czar Kamala Harris has already pivoted to her next major task: The vice president and former California senator has been appointed to oversee the push in SHR 1, congressional Democrats' attempted overhaul of long-standing election integrity measures. Today, I'm asking Vice President Harris to help these efforts and lead them among her many other responsibilities, Mr. Biden said Tuesday during a speech in Tulsa, Oklahoma. With her leadership and your support, we are going to overcome again, I promise you, but it's going to take a hell of a lot of work. The bill, which essentially would nationalize election oversight and codify every legal, dubious tactic used by Democrats in recent elections to commit widespread, systematic vote darfing, has been dubbed a non-starter by Republicans and a handful of moderate Democrats. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That means Harris' duties would involve selling the American public on ending the filibuster, an idea widely condemned by the left during the Trump administration, in order to pass legislation that would secure permanent majorities for Democrats. Success also would require her to exert intense, coercive pressure on Senator Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema of Arizona. Biden bellyached about the two defectors during his visit to Tulsa, blaming them for his inability to railroad through the most overreaching far-left agenda in modern presidential history. I hear all the folks on TV saying, why doesn't Biden get this done? He complained. Well, because Biden only has a majority of effectively 4 votes in the House and a tie in the Senate with 2 members of the Senate who voted more with my Republican friends. Gotta love it how he added my Republican friends. What a fucking fake ass. But in a recent interview with MSNBC, that is way too many consonants. Micah Harris boasted that she could be very persistent when she agreed to set her mind to it. I eat no breakfast, she said, referring to the many hurdles she encountered as an Indo-Caribbean daughter of Berkeley college professors who were forced to rely upon her guile, looks, and a minority identification in order to fast-track her political career into the country's most radicalist left state. Well, she slept her way to the top. It's unclear whether Biden had vented the new assignment with Harris before announcing it. The congenitive challenge commander-in-chief did not appear to have gotten the okay from his vice president before delegating the border crisis. Yeah, that was hilarious. Hey, by the way, you're going to do the border. What? That resulted in confusion and panic among Harris's staff, which some interpreted to be an outright defiance after Harris spokeswoman Simone Sanders publicly rebuffed the idea. I will just reiterate that the vice president is not doing the border, Sanders responded shortly after that announcement. Harris herself had cackled at the idea of visiting the border during a trip to Florida, and she also has since proceeded to distance herself from the issue. Yeah. So there you go. Let's see. What else can they do? I will just reiterate. Harris. Okay. White House staff later agreed that she would focus on a diplomatic mission with the Northern Triangle countries of Central America, where a sizable portion of the thousands of immigrants flooding the border daily are believed to begin their journey. Although the Trump administration has successfully curbed the problem by applying pressure on countries like Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador, one of Biden's first moves as president was to sign executive orders rolling back those policies. And then they came flooding in. But they're trying to blame Trump for the immigration crisis, though, which is hilarious. No replacement policy has yet been announced, although recent media reports made reference to a new initiative spearheaded by Harris that would partner with Microsoft and other left-leaning companies to incentivize job creation in the crime-ridden region. While the election overhaul is more within Harris's wheelhouse, the New York's described it as a politically thorny problem that faces long odds of success. Some top Republicans, organizations, and leaders, including Senator Ted Cruz, have pledged to use every available resource to fight the corruption effort. I don't really understand. What part of this is talking about election overhaul? So far, all I'm hearing about is illegals. Biden's reliance on his ambitious Harris to step into such a fraught and diversive initiatives have fueled speculation that their private dynamic may be more adversarial than cooperative. Well, I mean, she did call him a racist and a rapist. Yet, in one released statement, Harris appeared to accept the new assignment with more zeal than the last one. In the days and the weeks ahead, I will engage the American people and work with voting rights organizations, So they're just trying to end the filibuster. That's what they're going to do? and the private sector to help strengthen and uplift efforts on voting rights nationwide, she said. Oh my goodness, what the hell? And we will also work with members of Congress to help advance these bills. Actually, I guess this was the emails for Fauci. I should have signed this up closer. Or a bandolier for sale. Sign tag on them. A dealer / vendor might want them. Huh. Bandolier, you say. Ooh, here comes Quantum Lotus with Mother Jones News, which I actually know this one. The Frogs Award. It is the frogs being gay, isn't it? It's the gay frogs. I will look at that. I might even read it if we still have time at the end. Let me get through these. U.S. researcher with ties to the Wuhan lab personally thanked Fauci in April for dispelling lab-linked theory myths. The leader of the nonprofit group with close ties to the Wuhan Institute of Virology personally thanked Dr. Fauci on April 2020 for publicly rejecting the notion that the lab could be connected for the release of the sniffles. EcoHealth Alliance President Dr. Peter Daszak, April 18, 2020, emailed to Fauci was part of a 3,200-page batch of Fauci's emails obtained by BuzzFeed News on Tuesday, though a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit. A large portion of Daszak's emails to Fauci was redacted with a FOIA exemption indicating the text could reasonably be expected to interfere with law enforcement proceedings. Daszak personally thanked Fauci in an email for the bravery he exhibited during a White House press briefing the day prior when he said the novel sniffles exhibits features that are totally consistent with an animal-to-human origin and that don't point to a lab manipulation, which was 100% of a lie. Fauci's comments were framed at the time by media outlets such as Business Insiders as a rejection of the lab leak conspiracy theory. Conspiracy theory. I just wanted to say a personal thank you on behalf of our staff and collaborators for publicly standing up and stating that the scientific evidence supports a national origin for the sniffles from bat to human spillover, not a lab release from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. From my perspective, your comments are brave, and coming from your trusted voice will help dispel the myths being spun around the sniffles' origins. Wow. Fauci responded to Daszak the following day, thanking him for his message of encouragement, the email shows. Fauci altered his position on the lab leak theory in May, telling PolitiFact Katie Sanders that he was not convinced that the sniffles developed naturally. So now he's changing his tune. EcoHealth Alliance did not immediately return a request for comment. EcoHealth Alliance, under Daszak's leadership, funneled $600,000 in taxpayers' dollars to the Wuhan Institute of Virology prior to the pandemic to conduct risky experiments on bat-based sniffle viruses, the Daily Caller News Foundation previously reported. Experts say the National Institute of Allergies and Infectious Diseases research grant with EcoHealth, which involved payments to the Wuhan lab, described gain-of-function research. However, NIAID, which is led by Fauci, declined to flag the grant for independent review by the Department of Health and Human Services oversight board that was formed in late 2017 to critically evaluate gain-of-function research grants. Daszak played a key role in the onset of the pandemic in suppressing debate about the possibility that the Wuhan Institute of Virology could be connected to the sniffles. Yeah, you couldn't even say that on YouTube. Facebook, Twitter, you say that anywhere. And they immediately removed it and gave your account a strike for medical misinformation, for just having an opinion, or having even some decent evidence on why you might even think that in the first place. Wow. Daszak orchestrated a statement published by the Lancet Medical Journal in February of 2020 prior to any serious research of the origins of the sniffles, condemning conspiracy theories that suggested the virus doesn't have a natural origin. Daszak later admitted through a spokesperson that he organized that statement to protect Chinese scientists from online criticism. Can't criticize the Chinese. That would be horrible. Why do you think they probably pushed to get Trump out of office so damn hard? Now that I ate, I'm ready to pass out. Oh, all right. I'll see you later, Mr. Tommy Boy 9. Thank you very much for being here. I do appreciate it. If you got to go, man, no problem. All right. We have, We have a video we're going to play, and then we're going to read that story.
President Biden says he does not think Russian leader Vladimir Putin is testing him with another major ransomware attack, this time against a major meat processing company. But the strike against JBS comes on the heels of a devastating attack against an American pipeline company, and just ahead of the first summit between the two leaders. National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin has the latest from the Pentagon. Good evening, Jennifer.
Good evening, Brett. The most recent Russian ransomware attack targeted meat packing plants from North America to Australia. Some workers returned to their ships this evening in Colorado and Nebraska, but it's not clear when all 9 processing plants here in the U.S. will be back at full capacity, raising concerns about how long this will last and who will pay. The cyber attack on the world's largest meat supplier comes less than a month after the Colonial Pipeline hack. President Biden says he plans to raise the issue with Vladimir Putin when he meets with the Russian president in Geneva in 2 weeks.
Mr. President, will you retaliate against Russia for this latest ransomware attack?
We're looking closely at that issue.
Do you think Putin is testing you?
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says ransomware attacks have been rising in recent weeks.
President Biden certainly thinks that President Putin and the Russian government has a role to play in stopping and preventing these attacks.
One of the country's leading cyber experts says Russia has ignored U.S. requests in the past.
The Russian government is allowing them to operate within their country. They have refused over the years to extradite those people or even to arrest them. And at some point, we need to start holding them accountable.
JBS has more than $50 billion in annual sales worldwide and accounts for 20% of all the beef, poultry, and pork sold in the U.S. Its American headquarters is in Greeley, Colorado, an hour north of Denver. So far, there have been no meat shortages, and the company says a majority of operations will resume today. Our systems are coming back online, and we are not sparing any resources to fight this threat, JBS said in a statement. The disruption couldn't come at a worse time for restaurant owners who say meat prices as a result of the pandemic are already at a 6-year high.
Here's one of our prime grade briskets. This piece of meat would have cost us about $50 here in the restaurant just in March. Today we're paying about $90.
Dmitry Alperovich says the White House must go after the payment
Screw
source
gold and
for
silver.
cryptocurrency.
The reason why
they're going
see
after
so
crypto,
much of these ransom and extortion campaigns is because the criminals now have a way to collect these payments in a basically pseudo-anonymous fashion.
Just weeks ago, Colonial Pipeline
that makes me like crypto better.
$4.4 million to its Russian
hackers
4.4 using cryptocurrency.
That was right. We said that correctly.
We just learned of a new ransomware
yesterday.
attack today targeting the steamship authority in Woods Hole, Massachusetts, that ferries vacationers back and forth to Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. Officials say hackers also infiltrated the Metropolitan Transportation Authority in New York in April, but the MTA said it quickly shut down the breach. Brett?
Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon. Jennifer, thank you. President Biden says he does.
All right, so that was that one. This is the story about them getting back on their feet after the cyber attack. I'm not going to read that. We have Epstein's ex, Ghislaine Maxwell, loses bail bid for the 5th time. For the 5th time, British socialite Maxwell lost a bid on Wednesday to be freed on bail prior to a November trial on charges that she recruited teenage girls for Jeffrey Epstein. I hope she spills the beans. I hope she has beans to spill. She might not have beans to spill, hence she's still alive. The Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Manhattan issued a brief order rejecting Maxwell's latest request. The 3-judge panel that issued it did not elaborate. Probably flight risk, if nothing else, I guess. The appeals court had rejected a bail request once before. Her trial judge and thrice said no. In the latest bail request, Maxwell's lawyers asked the appeals court to at least order the lower court judge to conduct a hearing where evidence related to the bail could be shown. The Second Circuit rejected that too. She's been incarcerated since last July, so over a year now, almost a year now. She's pled not guilty to charges including sex trafficking and conspiracy that allege that she recruited at least 4 females for Epstein to sexually abuse between 1994 and 2004. Her trial was recently moved from July to November. Opening statements are scheduled for late in the month. Epstein killed himself in federal Manhattan lockup in August. Yeah, we already know that. Maxwell's lawyers have argued she's been mistreated at a federal jail in Brooklyn. Her lawyers have gradually increased the terms of the proposed bail package, saying Maxwell and friends and family would put up $28.5 million. They also said Maxwell, a U.S. citizen, would agree to 24-hour armed guards, electronic bracelet, and renounce her citizenship in England and France. David Oscar Marcus, Maxwell appeals attorney, said in an email that his client is subject to more grueling conditions than any other inmate at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. He described the facility as a complete disaster and said Maxwell can't adequately prepare for trial in a facility where she is awakened every 15 minutes at night when guards shine a light into her cell to check on her, make sure she didn't kill herself. We all know the truth. This is due to the Epstein effect. Because Epstein died in jail, watch it, has decided to torture Ghislaine. That's wrong. Okay. Sweet. I'm going to read this one, this Mother Jones article, but I'm going to read it over on Discord. If you're on my Discord, come join me over there. We're going to have a little extra of the evening catch-up over there while I read about the frogs. If you're not on my Discord, check it out in the links, descriptions down below. But that's all I'm going to have for you tonight. My teeth are kind of hurting a little bit right now, and I need to get prepared for the gaming stream, well, the karaoke stream that I'm going to be doing, trying to raise money for a vet who could use a little bit of an uplift right now. So if you want to help a vet out who's going through some issues right now, 100% of all proceeds raised from the evening catch-up and from my other channel are going directly to that until Friday. Down below, we have all the causes I believe in and support. We have ProjectRecover.org, an organization that goes out and looks for lost service members. We have the GOA that's trying to fight for your gun rights. We have the PH Association, which is the disease that I have that's going to kill me. And it's an orphan disease, so there's not any government agencies that are looking for a cure, so it's just up to this one group. So if you want to help out that, you can. We have Irish's Rally Point Irish. Irish USMC vet is my good friend who is trying to start up a location in Tennessee where vets can stay and live room and board free while learning a new skill like farming, blacksmithing, and gunsmithing. Really good cause. He usually gets half of all my proceeds to this channel. However, for this week, we are donating it into a different thing for a vet, and I'm sure he'd be fine with that. Other than that, we have all the places that you can follow me, so check me out on all my social medias to make sure you know where I am if I'm not on YouTube, because if I'm not on YouTube, I probably got banned. And I'll still be on DLive, which I'm on DLive right now. We got a lot of people chatting now. Crude oil is almost $70 a barrel. Gas prices will be in the low $3 within another week or so. They're already $3 here. Already, yeah. And if you can only if you can, please. If you can't, it's okay. Yeah. No. If you can donate, just know that your donation this week is going to a veteran, and one that could probably use a little bit of an uplift, and one that watches this channel. One that watches this channel is part of our community. So if you can, it's great. If not, I mean, I can't do much either because, you know, financial situations have been really bad in my house, unfortunately, as well. It's just a bad time. When we get past this bad time, it's going to be great because Riddle Girl and myself are doing, we got some prospects, like some really, really good prospects. But it's going to take time. But when it hits, not only are we going to be doing what we did before, but we'll be doing probably like at least a quarter more. You know what I mean? So it'll be good, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. What about Callie? God, I want to go to bed already. Well, go to bed, man. Someone has been drinking tonight, and it ain't you, Stinger. No news. No new news. No, I haven't been drinking tonight. I probably won't drink because it made me feel like shit this morning. So I probably won't be drinking tonight. We're just going to be having a good time trying to raise some money for my good friend over on the other channel. I hope to see you all there. If you want to hang out with me, though, on Discord, I'm going right over to Discord right now. And we're going to read this Mother Jones article of The Frog of War. I know Quantum Lotus is on Discord, so hopefully I'll see you there, but if not, that's alright. I can hang out by myself. I've done it before. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, make sure to keep your family close. Watch out for that government. Try to live as free as you can in the tyrannical world we find ourselves living in. And God bless. Peace.